Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Excalibur Extended Roundtable Tech Talk. I have with me today Will Barrows from CG4. Will, thanks for joining me today.
Hello, Mike. It's a pleasure.
It's always fun when we get together and we start talking about asset tracking and the cool things that CG4 does for our customers out there, and for the potential customers that are watching, what we can do for you. We've been kind of covering in some of our episodes here frequently asked questions that we get from customers as they're starting to look at really taking their asset tracking game up a couple of notches. And so one of the things is what makes asset tags such a big deal? Be they barcode asset tags or RFID asset tags. You guys, we talk in episodes about how these are such a time saver. How are these things such a time saver, Will?
Well, how much time you got, Mike? The ability to know where your assets are, who has them, what they're being used for. If they're in a stock room, that's such a valuable bit of information that there are so many ways to save money. I mean, you just take a simple one, like for example, you've got 50 different laptops, and you need to find one of them because it has a problem or something like that. Well, if you have your unique asset tag on all of your 50 laptops, well, you should know exactly where that laptop is. You don't have to guess that it might be with so and so or on this shelf if you don't have asset tags on your assets. The IT equipment and other assets are so expensive and so valuable to organizations that if you don't do a good job just tagging your assets so that you can know the answer to all those questions, you're going to be losing money with bad purchasing decisions and with inefficiencies that just going to cause all sorts of headaches that don't need to be there.
Well, Will, you touched on something when you talked about stock rooms and other things, and one of the things that I see for a lot of customers is where the time savings come in is really the ability to be hyper accurate and to do something quickly. So if you were doing a stockroom inventory, you would typically have to go and capture all the serial numbers or figure out what it is. If they're all tagged, you can very quickly go through. There's no opportunity for error by writing something down wrong or typing it in wrong. It's not as much of a manual process. It's very quickly going and grabbing all of those assets. These are the things that are in our stockroom. And with the magic of CG4, that could be one of our modules that may be comparing what's in the stockroom to what the system says is in the stockroom. Is there a mismatch here? Right, that was one of the things that we've talked about before, is being able to find those mismatches where our data isn't matching up, and it's giving us kind of a heads up saying, well, yeah, you sure you scanned everything? Because there's two other laptops that we're showing should be in there, two other asset tags, and they're not there. And that gives you that ability to now track down what may have occurred. Too often in our asset tracking processes, and as you know, I do a lot of consulting with customers on CMDBs. With CMDBs, things become too manual and that they become prone to error. When you're leveraging asset tracking technology using some sort of asset tag, be it barcode or RFID or a mix of both, you have the ability to be hyper accurate. The scanner is not going to misinterpret what that asset tag says. It's going to just read it, and I can do it very fast. So doing that inventory, which could have taken hours before, may now only take minutes.
Let me tell you a story. Mike. One of my customers, they had a very manual inventory process, and the ladies that I was working with, they were telling me how they currently do it, and we were helping them get CG4 set up to do like you just described, where you go do your inventory by scanning the barcodes on each of the items. And when we got done showing them what they were going to be able to do and got them their modules set up the way they wanted to, they said, you can't see right now, but the both of us have tears. And I go, what are you talking about? He said, you don't understand how many weeks we dread doing this inventory, and it's going to take us a matter of hours now, and you've just made us so much happier. And these are the ladies that if you've met them in person, and I haven't met them in person yet, but these are the kind that strike me as the huggers. They're going to come and say thank you with the big hugs. But and another story is one of our data center customers. They needed to do an inventory of all their racks and for all their compliance requirements, and it would take them weeks. And they decided to go with the RFID route because it's a little more quick than just scanning barcodes, and they were able to get their inventory done in a couple of hours instead of a couple of weeks. And so people just get happy when they've got responsibility for doing an inventory, and it's now all of a sudden not going to be so painful.
Well, and the time savings are both, not only shortening that time span that it takes to do those things, but also that hyper accuracy. You're now not depending on things to happen. And based on how we leverage the CG4 platform and how we set up our modules for the particular customer's workflow, it's also automating certain things that might have been a manual process before to ensure that accuracy, to ensure the process is being followed. Those are all the things that drive that time savings. And as we know, time is money. And when you start talking about assets, making sure that the accuracy is there, making sure that we're getting everything, we now lower our incidents. Most customers, we got to do this, Will, as a statistical thing, actually pull the customers on this, what the cost savings have been, because now we don't have missing assets anymore. And for some of our customers, there's fiduciary or compliance requirements where if an asset goes missing, all sorts of alarm bells have to go off and things have to be done. Can we lower the incidence of where everybody's running around, where we know, hey, something's amiss, we do our preliminary simple investigation, and yet we need to call this a missing asset. That's where, in so many cases, there's those time savings, those effort savings, in helping us to be faster and more accurate.
Yeah, those are all just it all just combines to have our customers be able to better run their business, make better management decisions, and have their techs not, like you say, running around with their heads cut off.
Right. Well, or as you said, dreading having to do it. Okay,
yes.
This is something that we need to do, and we know now that we've done it multiple times, it's not extremely painful.
Right.
It's good. So that's what we want to talk to you about out there, the Excalibur and CG4 team. Let's get together and talk about how we can help you be better at your asset tracking. Will, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Mike. It's always a wonderful time.
Great. And thank you, everybody, for watching. And we'll see everybody soon. Take care.